Hey everyone, Coach Tanner. In this video, we're going to be going over the best heroes for each role. Now, this list is based off of the current ranked experience, so there will be no Kiriko. With that being said, let's hop right into our list. Just one thing real quick. We are launching the GameLeap website for Overwatch 2 this month with step-by-step courses and strategies for every single hero. We'll make sure that it's way better and way more in-depth than anything out there on YouTube. Make sure you pre-order your sub right now at 50% off by clicking the link below. With that being said, let's hop right into our list. First up, we have tanks. Now, this is where D.Va comes in and is going to be a nightmare in most of your games. D.Va has been terrorizing ranked all throughout Overwatch history, and she's no different in Overwatch 2. With a lack of CC in the game, combined with D.Va's armor and mobility, it's almost impossible to lock her down and actually secure the kill on her. Not to mention, if you even get her out of mech, you still have to kill the little baby D.Va. The main thing you want to be learning for D.Va is awareness. If you have the awareness to see that Ana nade flying towards your team and eat it before it actually hits them, chances are you're going to save the team fight just by doing that. Or if there's an enemy in your backline and they're getting healed from the Ana far away, you can very easily defense matrix the enemy, allowing your teammates to finish him off. Now, this isn't D.Va's only strength. Her boosters are only on a 4-second cooldown with a 2-second flight time, which allows you to get really far really quickly. Not only that, if you end up going deep into the enemy backline with her boosters, 4 seconds is really not that long to wait. Seeing as your defense matrix can last for up to 3 seconds, you can very easily have 1 second of downtime in between your boosters every time you fly into the enemy backline trying to secure a kill. Speaking of securing kills, D.Va has a ton of burst damage. Now, this comes in the form of two things. One is her boost melee combo, which can deal up to 55 damage, where you use your boosters, and as you boop into the enemies with those boosters dealing 25 damage, you can use your melee at the exact same time, which allows you to get a burst of 55 damage done. Combine this with her micro missiles and fusion cannons, and you're guaranteed to secure a kill on pretty much anybody that you're diving. D.Va's ultimate is one of the hardest to master because of all the nuances with timings and placements of it. Most of the time, you'll be using D.Va's ultimate to remech. And this is okay most of the time, as you're not going to be getting a ton of kills with D.Va's ultimate unless you're using it at very specified times. One tip that I can give you for D.Va's ultimate is using it on a trigger. And what I mean by this is, if you find that the Winston is constantly bubbling your D.Va ultimate or the Reinhardt shielding it, try and break the Reinhardt shield or wait for the Winston bubble to go down or the Zarya bubbles to go away, and then throw your ultimate when the enemies are feeling safe. Another really strong time to use D.Va's ultimate is during Zen's Tranquility, where the enemy team is pushing up while they're being fully healed, and if a D.Va ultimate comes out while they're all not behind cover, that's going to be a ton of free kills for you. With all this being said, D.Va is not just the easiest character to pick up. She needs some gameplay mastery, and you should be trying her out on every single map. Learning D.Va can be intimidating, but it's very easy once you really start thinking about how to play her. Most of the times, when you're playing D.Va, you're going to want to start looking for enemy utility cooldowns. And what I mean by this is Ana sleep dart, Ana nade, Zenyatta right clicks, anything that is a big burst of damage that takes a while to charge up, you're really going to want to be looking out for those and making sure that you're using your defense matrix whenever those abilities come out. One last tip I can give for D.Va is you don't always need to be holding left click. Your defense matrix plus your micro missiles can very easily help finish an enemy off that's in your backline, so long as you're blocking the enemy's heals with your defense matrix. Up next, we have Sombra. Now, Sombra is incredibly strong in Overwatch 2. Her ability to hack while invisible, hack health packs while invisible, also her hack timing going down. Not only that, but she deals 40% more damage to targets while they're hacked. Not only does this make her incredibly strong at killing tanks, but it also makes her really strong at killing other DPS characters. Characters like Widowmaker, where they position quite far away from their team, allow you to just hack them while you're invisible, pop out of invis, and then just finish them off while they can't do anything. Another benefit of Sombra's kit is that her translocator allows you to be in multiple different places at once. For example, you could be diving the enemy's backline, get a crucial hack off to help your tanks finish off a character, then immediately teleport back to your supports with your translocator to help them from a diving enemy. With the addition of the DPS passives, we now have a reason to stay in fights as Sombra. Usually you would get one kill and then translocate out because there's no real reason to continue staying in the fight. But being able to reload and move 25% faster after getting a kill really allows Sombra to pump out a ton of damage while she's diving with her team. Now, dive isn't the only thing Sombra is good at. She's actually quite strong at playing defensively if the enemy team is a lot more aggressive than yours. While Sombra is really strong at diving and being aggressive, she can also play the defensive role as well. Sitting on a high ground while invisible, you can very easily catch that tracer off guard who's been diving your Ana the whole game. The way you want to be playing Sombra is you want to pick a side of the map that you're going to hack 1 or 2 health packs on, keep your translocator near those health packs, and then play pretty aggressively towards the enemy's team, making sure that you are constantly talking with your teammates and setting up plays. Now, if you don't like to talk to your teammates, that is completely fine, as Overwatch 2 now has a ping system. This system has been crucial at helping me make plays while I don't want to talk. All you have to do is sit next to your enemy, ping them, and then hope that your teammates actually follow up. Another crucial tip I can give you as Sombra is you never want to have your translocator available. What I mean by this is you always want it in a safe and secure location. So every single time you translocate back to the safe spot, you want to be throwing your translocator either in a new spot if an enemy notices, or you want to just throw it straight back down. Unless you're making a play where you're going to suicide into the enemy team with your ultimate, you never want that translocator to be off cooldown. The final tip that I'm going to give you for Sombra is that positioning is the #1 priority for you. To be an incredibly good Sombra is to always be there when your teammates are ready to dive in. You never want to be going in too early, and you always need to make sure that the position you're taking isn't going to get you forced out too early. A good example of this is if you uncloak next to a Soldier 76 right as your teammates are about to dive in. The soldier's just going to use his rockets on you, and you're going to be forced to translocate out before your teammates can actually dive in. This is a huge problem, as if you're forced to translocate out without getting a hack off and no damage off, then you're pretty much just allowing your team to dive in without you, which is awful. Last but not least, we have Ana. Now, coming into Overwatch 2, we have seen some nerfs to Ana with an increase in her sleep dart cooldown and her biotic nade getting a 40 damage reduction. But this is not a problem, as Ana is still one of the strongest characters to play in Overwatch 2. Also, overshadowing Ana's nerfs was the new passive buff that she got. All supports now heal 15 health per second after leaving combat. What this means for Ana is that now she no longer has to position so closely to her second support. All of those Reddit Lucio players that have been on your team running around in the enemy team no longer have to come back and heal you, or you don't have to waste your nade on yourself. It used to be that Ana's would find a good high ground position and then easily get poked out by DPS who are constantly spamming her, not allowing her to get shots off on her teammates and forcing her to use her nade on herself. But now you're able to find that high ground position and then hold it as long as you want. Even if the enemies are constantly poking at you, you'll be able to just easily heal all that health back up without having to waste your nade on yourself, or without having to have your second support come and save your life. With these changes, Ana can take a ton of different angles now that she normally wouldn't be able to because of her reliance on other healing sources. All of this hype around Ana doesn't make her invincible though. She's always been particularly worse against dive, and that still stays the same. Although now you can position yourself even further back than you normally would on certain maps where the enemies have to dive way too far to get to you. And that is again one of Ana's strength, being able to have hit scan from super far away and heal your team, while the enemies have to waste their time and abilities getting to you, and your teammates can easily just turn around and collapse on them. Some great tips I can give you for facing hard dive are: use your sleep dart and your nade very defensive. What I mean by this is if the Winston is constantly diving you and you don't have your sleep dart or your nade up, you need to be saving it more often for when they do. Using your nade and sleep dart to counter enemy abilities is what distinguishes a good Ana from a bad one. You always want to be noting what the enemies are doing, whether it's a Genji who always dashes and then immediately deflects, or a Winston who is bubbling your sleep darts as soon as you shoot them. You want to be taking that into account and then just changing it up slightly so that you can hit your abilities when they matter. Now, Ana has one of the strongest ultimates in the game. If you use this ultimate at the correct time every single time you have it, you're guaranteed to win yourself a team fight. There are a few things that you need to be realizing when you're using your Ana ult. One is Ana's ultimate heals 250 burst health. That means that if your tank is down 250 HP and you don't have the line of sight or the time to heal that tank, you need to be using your ultimate immediately on him. And the last tip that I'm going to give you for Ana is test your limits. Ana is all about finding those positions where you can just sit there, heal your team, spam anti-nades, and be a nuisance. So make sure that on all of the new maps and all of the old maps, you're kind of testing your limits on where you can position. This means going into spots where you might be uncomfortable, but spots that can lend you a really good angle on your anti-nades or your sleep darts. For example, going above enemies and throwing nades on top of them, that can very easily win you a team fight without having you getting dove instantly. Now, these heroes aren't going to instantly gain you 1000 elo as soon as you pick them up. What they are is they're good examples of heroes that can be played in almost every composition and almost every single map. Now, to wrap up the video, I want to know who you guys are going to be playing this season, so make sure to comment down below. And thank you all for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Just one thing real quick. We are launching the GameLeap website for Overwatch 2 this month with step-by-step courses and strategies for every single hero. We'll make sure that it's way better and way more in-depth than anything out there on YouTube. Make sure you pre-order your sub right now at 50% off by clicking the link below.